Morning. Good morning. And thank you for having me. Our good sis Veronica was up there preaching, okay? I don't even know how I'm going to follow after that. But what a wonderful message, and what alignment with what I would like to share with you today. Finding your professional sweet spot has definitely taken on a new meaning for me and probably a lot of other women, even those in the audience. This stillness, this quiet, this pause that a lot of us probably experiencing in the workplace and in just a lot of different industries and careers have really begged to question, what the hell am I doing, right? Why am I coming to this job, or why did I pick this career? And ultimately, maybe why am I feeling even stressed out about something that I may not love? And I share that because that was me. Pre-COVID, I was experiencing a level of stress and unfulfillment in my career, honestly, because I put the label on it, like Veronica was talking about, and really wanted to almost define myself and give myself an identity in this label as a leader, as a director of this and that for whatever company. And it gave me such anxiety. It gave me, I would even say, imposter syndrome at times, because I didn't really know who I was. And so through all this toiling and all of this anxiety, I realized that I didn't know who I was. I thought to myself that this dream career and this job was going to ultimately propel me to a place of stature, and I was going to be fulfilled in this position, but I didn't really know or connect with who Jasmine was. And I had to do that. And even before COVID came, God told me I had to be still. So I used my resources, and I took a FMLA leave. I took a stress leave, and I granted myself the permission to define what this meant for myself. And in those still moments, while I was on my 12-week vacation, short-term disability, I came to the realization that dream jobs don't exist, sweet spots do. And when you get that clarity, you take that level of anxiety and you take that layer of imposter syndrome off of yourself to be you, to really connect with the gifts or the alignment that ultimately God has in your life. And I believe in a higher power, whether you call it source, universe, God, it lives in you. And in that moment, I was able to step in and own really what my gifts innately were in me, and also identify the gaps that existed too. In those moments, while I was assessing, reassessing, taking therapy, I was in group therapy, I was being still, I was napping, I was resting, I was quieting the noise of not only the workplace, but what my parents wanted for me, what I thought I wanted for me, and I just got still. And the first thing that came to me was principle. Sounds simple, but I had stepped away from the principles of my life and what I valued to be really cornerstones of how I was not only brought up, but what has rested in my spirit to be important to me and what makes me thrive in certain situations. And so when you think about being principled, you can really begin to align yourself with opportunities and even organizations that can help you step out of that imposter syndrome. Because these principles are almost like guiding lights for you. If you're looking at opportunities that are misaligned with what you value, you can say no, thank you. You can also give yourself permission and ownership of your career to know this isn't a fit for me, and I'm okay with that. And it was scary for me to admit that, because in 12 weeks, I'm going to have to go back to this employer that isn't aligned with my principles. And I got so scared, y'all. In those moments, I was praying, I was talking to my husband, I didn't talk to my girlfriends, even though they're important, but the external noise that they gave me was like, girl, you're making 6 figures over there. You just need to, you need to stay. You need to sweat it out. It's going to be okay. And I knew that was what they were going to say, but I needed those moments to myself with God and even with my husband, because I knew he wants the best for me too. And so aligning myself with those principles and thinking about what that meant for me really helped to change the trajectory of what I felt my sweet spot was in my professional life. And so after aligning with that and really defining that, it came down to my personality next. And my personality is one that is very easygoing. I don't talk a lot just because I feel like when I say something, it's important. So I don't fill rooms up with words, but I fill rooms up with presence and meaning and inspiration. And I'm proud of that. And in that opportunity I was in, they really valued people that were full of hot air, if we can be honest. And I was really beginning to assess that. And it made me feel, again, like an imposter, because I was building a reputation or folding into an environment that really wasn't for me. And that's what was causing me so much anxiety. And I wasn't in my sweet spot for my career. So assessing and getting back to who Jasmin was really paramount in understanding why certain opportunities or even certain workplaces wouldn't work for me. And understanding the principle and the personality of myself then landed me to preference. Preference of what type of organization would really help Jasmin to thrive? What type of career trajectory allows someone with my principles, my personality, and my preferences to really be a leader, to lead others, and to really bring value to a space that allows me to fail forward sometimes if I need to. Because thriving isn't always winning. It's failing forward too, and having permission to be vulnerable and ask for help and know that you have to develop in some areas. And I was so grateful for that opportunity to really have this clarity and the assessment to do so. And so after learning, more and going to the therapy and being still and having this clarity, I was really thinking, in all of this chaos of COVID and the stillness and pause that was happening, I was sad to see some of the side effects, but I was also grateful to God for this clarity that he was given to me and that I was able to share with other women that were experiencing this same anxiety or this same busyness or this same need to produce without really knowing who they were. And then last for me, in going through the process of understanding my principles, understanding my personality, and aligning with my preference, came understanding my passion. And see, I thought my passion was really the thing that was going to drive my career. And passion alone will not do that, is what I learned. It wanes sometimes. It ebbs and flows. Sometimes I feel passionate about helping, women of color. Sometimes I feel passionate about really being a leader in corporate spaces. And sometimes I feel passionate about showing up and having my seat at the table. And a lot of times I don't, because I'm human. I have bad days. My spirit gets weary. Every other day there was news, referring to different just destruction in my community, to people that may have looked like my father, somebody that may look like my son. And in my spirit, I was weary, but I gave myself permission to be weary. And sometimes that impacts your passion, but it doesn't mean it goes anywhere. It just means for those moments, you can be still and feel those emotions that you were having. And so through those 4 pieces of principle, personality, preference, and passion, I realized Jasmin Forts needed to get the hell up out of this employer because it wasn't aligned with the sweet spot of who I am and what I was created to be and do. And so in this stillness, I was like, all right, God, what's next? What is next? And like Veronica talked about, writing it down, making it plain, it was scary for me because I was like, whoa, okay, this is my sweet spot. This is what my career or my trajectory is going to look like next. And it was so big to me. You know, I was writing down the exact organization that I wanted to be at, the exact position that I wanted to be in and fill, and the exact thing that I felt was aligned with my skill set, my personality, my preference, and my passion. And it's scary, right? Because it gives you accountability. It makes you say, this is it. It gives you a target. And if you miss it, you may feel a little less than, or you feel like a failure. But I took that layer off. I took the layer of feeling like a failure or feeling like I was going to miss the mark, because I knew this clarity was not just from me. It was from another realm. This stillness, this quietness, this need to connect to the sweet spot of my career was not just I would say it's not just a performative task. It was who I was innately. So when I wrote it down and I made it plain, literally 2 days later, I didn't even apply for this position. I was talking to people in my network and doing what most professionals do. And someone put my name in a room that I had no idea it was in. And I got a phone call to be in this new position that I'm in today. And when I tell you, it has literally not only changed my professional life, but my personal life as well. And 3 days ago on LinkedIn, I said, I am so grateful for this organization and the people in it, because it is authentic to me. I know that in this space and in my career and in this season, I need to be here. Women like me, specifically Black women like me, need to be in spaces that I'm in. A lot of time we do take on the narrative that we have to leave corporate to be successful, or we feel like there isn't a place for us. But my purpose now, I know, is to show that there is a space for us. A lot of times we may feel like we're disrupting rooms and we're creating currents in places that may be still water. And yes, you are, but we're equipped for it. And I knew that the moments before this stage, that everything that I needed was in me. And all of the hurdles or the challenges and the development that had happened beforehand were specifically for these moments and arriving at the sweet spot of my career. And so as I continue to coach other women and mentor some of the younger women that I adore and look up to me, I am not afraid to tell them that I had to step away, that I had to take a pause. And I didn't necessarily have to leave corporate to be success, but you are allowed to pause and define what your success looks like. Maybe it is still in a workplace. Maybe it is building a business, and maybe it's both like I'm doing. But as long as you're able to align what you feel like your sweet spot is and connect to your principles, your personality, your preferences, and your passion, a lot of that self-assessment can give the clarity that you need to calm the anxiety and really step into your power and realize that you are charting the way for what success looks like for you. And so as I continue these coaching sessions and as I continue even being still for myself, and there's a lot of practices that I've taken on during this season of COVID and being at home, working from home with my daughter there, my son there, my husband there. It's been even chaos in those moments, but I'm grateful. And I know there's some privilege there too that a lot of folks aren't able to have, you know, having their families safe at home during some of these times, or having the ability to work from a home office. And in those moments, I do get clarity with how I can assist and help others to be able to build a career or find the sweet spot that they're looking for as they're building their careers as well. And so what I would say when you are experiencing a level of anxiety or feeling like you have to be busy, or you're only measured by the level of producing that you give without COVID, be still, give yourself pause, take the time, use your resources. For me, it was FMLA. It was taking that 12-week vacation from my job and using short-term disability to make sure that I was still getting paid somewhat. But whatever that means for you, I want you to assess that for you. I want you to be still and get clear, because without that clarity, you can't arrive to whatever that sweet spot is in your life and your career. And you still will be looking for others to define it for you. And you may be stumbling along into opportunities that aren't aligned ultimately to who you are innately. And so I'm going to leave you with a little, I guess, it's something that I've been living by lately that has really blessed me, and it's probably something you've heard of before, but I'm just really walking in the thought of not to major in the minor things of life, and to stick to what I know Jasmine knows to be true for her. And when I've given that energy, and when I've given everything else pause, and I stay connected to what God has put into me, and whatever you call source, God, universe, I want to respect that. But whenever you're still and you listen to that, I promise you the sweet spots in your career and in your life will show up, and you can give way to the gifts and the talents that are in you, and you'll show up as a leader in whatever respect that is, in whatever space you're in, and it will give you peace. And so I appreciate the time. My name is Jasmin Forts. You can find me on Jobbing with Jazz, or you can find me at Miller Zell as the Director of Talent Management. Thank you.